it's the end of the year, and with that, the PlayStation wrap-ups are now here. Well, 2 days ago, I'm a little lazy, but I haven't gone full deep dive into mine yet, so let's take a squiz at what I played this year, shall we? So Sony delivers one of these every year, but this is the first year that I've made content, so I actually am interested as to whether that skewed any of my results at all. There was a few games that I definitely played a lot more of than I typically would have, simply just because I needed content for videos. But let's jump in, shall we? You can see that's me there. That's my very special sheep on the screen there, farming background. I can't resist the animals. So let's jump in, shall we? See your year in gaming broken down into numbers that matter, then share and compare them to other players around the world. That's what I'm doing right now. Sony's reading my mind confirmed. That's eye-opening. But let's jump in. So as you can see, I have looked into the first one. We're gonna ignore that. You didn't see that, but my total hours played is 2,625, confirming that I have no life. Well, now I'm sad, but I would argue that a good, probably close to 1,000 of those hours is me on a dashboard, because I have a very bad habit of leaving my PlayStation on. RIP my bank account and paying utility bills. But you can see that I had 694 hours on the PS5, which is pretty impressive. I got my PS5 right at the end of April, jumped into it from there, and I have done a pretty good job at going through and looking at the library. There's a few games I haven't played yet, such as Returnal, but I've done a lot of the heavy hitters, such as Demon Souls, and Demon Souls. And then the other massive amount of my hours, 1,931 specifically, was on the PS4 for a total of 73.6%, which is not too shabby. I haven't seen the sunlight in over a year. Help. You can see that I did 478 hours played online, which is pretty impressive. I would argue that at least 473 of those were playing games with people such as Peter from Missing Collectible and my good friend Bruce. I played for a total of 333 days. I haven't seen the sunlight. Do we have anything down here? We got some global statistics here. Horizon Forbidden West, this is actually a glitch. That game doesn't exist. I will put something less miserable on the screen in its replacement in editing, if I remember, of course. But we had 25 million smoke bombs bought or crafted. Fair enough. 11 billion arrows that hit machines. Justice for machines. This is horrible. This is machine cruelty. My computer has been hit so many times. 633 million explosive javelins used to take down machines. Once again, my computer has copped a beating this year. 14 million Thunderjaws felled. There's one just outside, you can probably hear it rumbling. And at 1,068 hours spent in photo mode, which is approximately the same amount of time I spend in front of a mirror taking selfies. We then, how do I get back to the dashboard? Probably the big blue button that says back to dashboard. But if we go back, let's have a look at my top games, which is probably the most interested one I am. I'm gonna hazard a guess. I haven't gone in yet. You can see it's not filled out, but I'm gonna hazard a guess and say City Skylines is my most played game. But I probably played maybe 3 hours, and the other 600 is me AFK waiting for that damn Chirpnado, which if you are a long-time member of this channel, you've heard me say a lot. So let's jump in, shall we? So in 2022, I played a total of 153 games. I haven't seen the sunlight. Out of everything you played, which were the games you couldn't get enough of? Get enough of or put up with trophies? It's anyone's guess as to which one it actually is. But my top 5 games are Elder Scrolls Online 1. That's interesting. I would not have picked that. I really only log in daily to get the daily challenges. I guess that 5 minutes does add up, but I did 143 hours. I do need to get back to this one. I am slightly concerned that next year the PS4 servers will shut down, and I do have both stacks on my account. RIP my completion rate. It's a total of 5% of my annual playtime, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things, especially when you consider that's 143 hours. I haven't seen the sunlight. My next biggest game was Elden Ring with 138 hours logged, which, yeah, that was in about 2 weeks. That was a big one. I smashed through Elden Ring. I had a really good time with that. I helped make one of the first lore videos that's out there. I will link it in the description. It's an absolute banger. You'll hear my pretty voice do a voiceover, which is, you know, always lovely, I like to think. But 138 hours, another 5% of my annual playtime. In fact, it was very close to being my most played game. Wow. Which is really funny because I wouldn't consider it one of the big ones. Dying Light's going to be quite large, 121. I've had this game glitch on me so many times. It's ridiculous how many times I've had collectibles glitch on me. Anytime there's a new update, my running miles resets. You've got to do like 658,000 running miles or something. Tried to do that so many times. Anytime there's an update, it just takes you straight back to zero, which is not fun whatsoever. Currently, the windmills are still broken on me, which is great. I've tried playing a fresh new game. I've tried playing New Game Plus. I've tried joining people's games. It's never a good time. It never works, and now I'm sad. My fourth most played game is Hitman 3, which, if you were here during my days of streaming, you'll remember that I used to actually dress up as Agent 47 with a barcode slapped on my head, all that fun stuff. Perks of being bald. It was always a good time. We managed to get 108 hours. I do have the platinum. I don't have the 100%. I need to go back and do pretty much all of the sniper missions, which reminds me that now I need to go back and do all the sniper missions, and now I'm sad. As well as the bank mission and the island mission in the DLC. And my fifth most played game, which is actually hilarious because I haven't played this since probably about April consistently, is Apex Legends with 101 hours. This was another one that I played a lot on stream, which, by the way, do stay tuned. I'm hoping to return to streaming very, very soon on the YouTube channel. Apex Legends, 101 hours for 3% of my annual play time. I love playing this game. I've forged some very strong friendships playing this game. I've frustrated the hell out of plenty more people playing this game. I was decent at it. I wouldn't say I was particularly good. I'm definitely too dumb to do anything incredibly intelligent in this game, but I loved playing characters such as Valk and Ash. It's a shame this game doesn't have platinum, but I do have the 100% stacked twice, which is probably where the hours do come from. My role-playing games were apparently my favorites of this year. I would beg to differ. I would say that my favorites of this year were probably more just random indie games. I guess you would count stuff like Tunic and Death's Door as RPGs. I wouldn't personally, but I guess they do fall into that category. 383 hours, 16 games played, and 187 trophies earned within RPGs, which, when you consider how many trophies I'm probably going to earn this year, that's tiny. God of War Ragnarok is the game that we're focusing on here with 850 million Rage Mode activations. It kind of looks like me the more I look at it. I actually do have footage from my Ragnarok playthrough. Should I make a platinum video of that? Do let me know in the comments below. But we then have 599 million chest punches. Ow, that's violent. 6 billion total enemies killed. Kratos, calm down. And then 5 billion axe throws. So the man is cranky. He's not a happy chappy. And in 2 months, he's murdered 6 billion enemies. I'm now fearful for my life. We're now going to move back to the dashboard for trophies earned, which is going to be terrifying, I think. Let's have a look. In 2022, I earned a total of 3,538 trophies. I haven't seen the sunlight. Keep scrolling to see more detailed breakdown of your trophy achievements this year. So, it's... How did this year compare to the last? I've earned 10,348 trophies in the last 4 years, maybe 5 years, I think it might be now with Symmetry. But I did increase my total trophies over the last year by 50%, which is crazy given that I had a lot more free time last year, because I was still at uni last year. But my trophies are categorized by the scale of achievement you need to unlock them. So you can see I earned 71 platinum trophies, 412 gold trophies, 812 silver trophies, and 2,240 bronze trophies, which is, I think that's a good job. I think it's the reason I'm bald, but I think that wasn't a bad crack. 71 platinums in a year is by far my biggest year. I think my previous last was last year, and I earned about 40 platinum trophies last year from memory. My milestones though, let's have a look here. So, my first ever trophy on this channel, which is going to kill my milestones video that I plan on putting out very soon, is the Mist from the Park, which I earned in December, funny enough, of 2018. So it's been 4 years since I created Symmetry. And yeah, my first trophy was in the Park. The Park is like an indie horror title, which, if you know me, you know I love my indie horror. It's usually trash, but I usually get a kick out of it. The Park was essentially just a walking sim in an abandoned theme park at night while you looked for your child, who I've affectionately named Timmy. We then have my latest trophy as of this was I in Black Death, a Tragic Dirge, which is my first and only, like, trash shovelware platinum trophy, which I'm ashamed of. I actually thought it was going to be a walking, like an indie horror title, funny enough. Isn't that funny? My first and my last, I thought, were in indie horrors. But yeah, I thought Black Death was going to be a like a indie horror medieval walking sim set in, you know, 16th century England or something like that. I might have, you know, had flashbacks to the movie with Sean Bean and been excited for that. Didn't look into the game. It was like 20 minutes of walking around a house and picking up pages. I was not a happy chappy. If you know me, I don't do shovelware platinums. I have no interest in sitting there and collecting notifications for no reason. But that was my first one, and unfortunately, that's the game that the milestone wrap-up thingy has picked as my last one. I've played other games since then, obviously. Some very good ones since then, but unfortunately, that's the one we're stuck on, so that's a bit embarrassing. We then have the global community statistics here are sitting on Gran Turismo 7, which is a game I've not played. Racing genre, not my strong suit, so maybe I should look into those at some point soon. But Gran Turismo 7, we've got 13 billion miles driven, which is quite a few. Vin Diesel would be proud. We've got 1 million liveries created. What on earth is a livery? A livery? A livery? No clue. I'm just going to move on with my life. We then have 212 million cars collected, which is quite a few. I've got about 5 Hot Wheels, so I guess I've contributed to that. We then have 369 million online races completed, which is quite a lot of time driving a car. We're then going to move back to the dashboard for our final wrap up here, which is PlayStation Plus, which I did play quite a few titles of, so I am curious to see what we get here, I guess. So moving in, we had in 2022, PS Plus granted access to 509 games. Obviously, I am from Australia, if the convict accent didn't give that away. So we don't get the deluxe games, we don't get the PS3 games on PS Plus Deluxe, so I don't bother with that. I've just got PS Plus Extra? The middle tier. I've got the middle tier, the one that gives me some games. In that time, since the middle of the year, because I think that was started in, what, June? I've played 123 hours on multiplayer in these games. That makes sense. I did play games such as Journey to the Savage Planet that were on there, which is a game I highly recommend. I've then got 56 monthly PS Plus games added to my library. That is true. I think 59 have been given in total, but I forgot to redeem the games in the month of Need for Speed Heat, so my bad. and my most played multiplayer game in that time was Elder Scrolls Online, which I believe is free in PS Plus. I think from memory, I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me, but I think it is there. I bought it years ago, so woe is me. If we scroll down, we can see the top monthly games. FIFA 22 takes out the top of the cake, followed by UFC 4, which I don't even remember being on Plus. We then have Dirt 5, which is a game I so need to go and play. Dragon Dance, if you're watching, not walking, that would be weird. Or maybe you're doing both at once. Go cardio, woo. Do remind me to play Dirt 5, would you? We then have Sonic, Team Sonic Racing. So what we're learning here is people really like sports games and cars that go broom broom. Tony Hawk's, yeah, all of our top five were sports games. So fair enough. Off the top of my head, I can't actually think of a PS Plus game I spent a ridiculous number of hours in this year, compared to stuff like COD Black Ops 4 from last year, which I still have to play quite a lot of. The community activity, we're looking at Stray. I do have a video on this channel for Stray, so go check that out after this video, please and thank you. But we did 1 billion meows. Fair enough. I'm not going to do that now, nor am I going to get a cat ears headband, but we'll just run with the 12 million things ruined, just like my hairline. 635,000 hours, 1,000 basketballs sunk. There's only one in the game. Are you saying that 635,000 people knocked that basketball into that goal? It's not even a hoop. You've got to kick it down into a goal. Basketball and soccer goal. That's not a good combo. Sony, get it together. 814,000 miles traveled in buckets. That checks out. You do spend quite a lot of time in a bucket. But if we go back to the dashboard, I think it's going to give me a card thing now, maybe. Here we go. Here's my card. What a year. Your wrap-up ID is the overview of everything you achieved on PlayStation this year. As you can see, my most played game, Elder Scrolls Online. I'm a high elf sorcerer from memory. I'm not particularly good at it. Definitely in PvP, I get absolutely stomped. I should definitely try and finish that game up, but I have such a big backlog to go back to. But here's to 2023, hey? It should be a good one. Hopefully I'll be able to build off this. Hopefully I don't play 2,600 hours. That would be bad. I need to now go and sit in daylight for the next 3 hours to make up for that. But do tell me what your wrap-up was like. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe post your wrap-up in the Discord. Of course, the Platinum Standard, a trophy hunting Discord for trophy hunters. Do join there. Do post your wrap-up. I'd love to see what game you played the most this year in comparison to my own. How many trophies you earned this year? How many Platinum trophies you earned this year? Let's get like a leaderboard of Platinum trophies this year going in the Discord. And I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be occurring quite a lot more than they have been. I do apologize for the sort of absence in videos lately, but I am back, I am healthy, and I'm rearing to go, so I will see you in the next video. I miss you already. Hugs and kisses, and do leave a cheeky subscribe if you haven't done already. I miss you already. Bye-bye.